Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sawan. I am a PhD student in the School of Computing and Information Systems, the University of Melbourne. I will talk about our review study on Autodo's experience of using VR for enrichment purposes. Let's start with some introduction. Recently, VR has been adopted in residential aged care for enrichment purposes. VR is appealing to residential aged care because it brings the outside world into the confined environment of the care home, enabling people to engage in activities that they can no longer easily do in the real world. Because residential aged care is a complex environment, it is important to understand how all those experience and use VR in order to inform the effective design and implementation of future VR experiences. We acknowledge that this is an emerging topic and therefore current evidence is limited. However, it is essential to synthesize lessons learned today. Without such reflection, there is a risk that VR will not be appropriately designed and used with this population in the future. In this presentation, we report findings from a systematic review that focus on studies that have investigated all those responses to the use of VR for enrichment purposes. In this research, we use the term enrichment to mean experience that provide other people with the opportunities to engage in activities that support their emotional and social needs. In this review, we aim to answer two research questions. What kinds of VR should be designed for all of those, and how should VR activities be implemented in residential aged care settings? The literature search was undertaken across several databases. The study selection for this review was following the PRISMA guidelines. At the completion of the study selection process, 15 articles were included for in-depth review. As a result of in-depth review, we identified 6 findings. Firstly, different approaches to VR technologies. Some studies employ immersive VR systems that use a heat-mounted display device or with handheld controllers. Some studies simply use a screen to show the virtual environment, and some authors even consider the VR game as a kind of VR technology. Based on this finding, we suggest to redefine the term VR in work involving outdoors, so that it only refers to immersive VR, or we should explicitly include the term immersive or non-immersive prior to the term VR in future publications. The second theme we identified is the positive effects of VR. Most review studies indicated that the motion or attitudes of all those two VR technologies were positive, as it provides all those opportunities to enjoy activity that they can no longer take part in, or to re-experience thrilling activities within a safe environment. The third theme we identify is all those experience of discomfort such as fatigue or dizziness, and this could be mitigated by involving a facilitator to facilitate activities and provide guidance and implementing discomfort mitigating strategies. These two findings suggest us to make some implementation recommendations, such as involving facilitators in the activities, implementing discomfort mitigating strategies, distinguishing experience among people with dementia and people without dementia, and if possible, involving family members in the activities. The fourth theme and the fifth theme we identify our preference of all those and requests for improvements respectively. It's worth noting that the most important findings that in these two teams were that participants enjoy travel-based application, social interaction, reminiscing about things in new and interesting way with the blending of multiple sensory modalities, and they were concerned about the look and weight of the head-mounted display devices. However, because of limited time, I'm not going to explain this finding in detail. For more information, please have a look at our full paper. This finding suggests us to make some design recommendations, such as focusing more on travel-based applications, reminiscing experience, integration of multiple sensory modalities, designing appropriate interactivity in the environments, personalized experience, and aging-friendly physical design. The last finding we identify is some gaps in the literature. In the literature, auto motivation of those for experiencing this kind of technology were not mentioned. Theoretical components accounting for observed activities were not studied. Hardly any studies have been conducted across a long-term period. Ethical implications of the use of VR have not been well understood. No studies consider this technology a socio-technical system. So these gaps are some opportunities for future work. So in conclusion, our literature review have four main contributions. Identify the needs to redefine or explicitly use the term VR in publication relating to this topic, providing key considerations for design and implementation of VR for autodos, and identify gaps in the literature or opportunities for future work in this area. So that's all for my presentation today. Thank you for listening.